Think we're live. Okay, this is my second live ever. I'm still very nervous. Last week it was a little bit more scripted. This week I'm just kind of going off the cuff, and we're just gonna see how it goes, guys. So yeah, we're live. Mystic Hillbillie live. Here we are. I'm so excited. So, I hope you guys are having a very, very wonderful Easter weekend. This is Easter weekend, and I'm really loving the resurrection energy. I really love it, and I feel it feels like Sophia rising, the Holy Spirit rising, and I don't know. It's pretty amazing. I got a pretty cool download this morning about Easter. As the Mystic Hillbillie, I love all religions. I want to go grab my diploma over there that I need to put in a frame. I haven't framed it yet, but I got a religious diploma or a diploma in cultural and religious studies. It's the one that I'm most proud of. It's the most useless one, but it's the one that I am the most proud of. And I love and respect all cultures and religions. And I have a deep love for cultures and religions. So we, there's that. And, oh my goodness. So I really do, my family, we celebrated Passover last week after the live and everything, got ready for Passover, and it was a pretty nice Passover. It wasn't the best, but we were able to be there, and but I do respect Christians and their Easter services too, and all religions, really. I just don't know much. I know a little bit about the Indian holidays, Diwali, and a couple others, but I can't keep up with it. The Chinese New Year is like the only holiday I can keep up with that culture. And so I live in the West, so my stuff is more Western based, and that's just how it's gonna be. So, all right, the topics that I wanted to talk about today. One of the topics, well, I guess I kind of want to talk about two different topics, and I couldn't decide on either one. So I was hoping maybe you guys could help me decide. But I I want to talk about, one is resurrection. I mean, it's Easter weekend. Isn't the topic about resurrection and rising? And then I got a full download this morning, and typically I would never speak on a download publicly that quickly after getting a download, but I feel like it's divine timing, and I do hand these shows over to Mother, Father, God, and Goddess, and I allow myself to be a vessel for the Most High Divine that I can possibly be for you guys. So, and for the Most High Divine, but yeah, I do feel a need to kind of explain the download, but at the same time, it's not together yet. So, but that's how I feel like I am with everything in the Mystic Hillbilly right now. Like nothing is together yet. So, but it's getting together. It's gathering together. So slowly but surely. All right, guys. So the download that I got, I guess I'll try to explain it, but I also feel like there has to be more understanding. I don't know if it's ready for the public. I'm just explain it to the best, and you guys will receive your downloads as you gain them, or as as you hear. So um the meaning of the Easter egg, and the true meaning of the Easter egg, and how these Easter egg rituals have become a way to entrap us. But there's a way to break out. And the rituals for the Easter egg are more and more important because the way to break out is like a crack in the egg that is becoming more and more obvious, even to those that would participate in the egg rituals. This is a heavy download, guys. There's a lot of understanding behind that. I don't know how to explain. But yeah, it's I see a visual of like an egg cracking open, and we're all in this egg, and the light is being shown, but we're being distracted with these silly rituals. And whenever I say ritual, don't think, like people in hoods, like, oh, it's daily activities that we do as a community that it blinds us to the reality that we could be living in. But the light from the crack in the egg is getting bigger and bigger and more undeniable. So more people are going to be breaking free. And the rituals they're not going to be able to hold us as much anymore. More people are going to be waking up, I guess, is kind of, I went through a long way of saying that. But yeah, I don't know. I felt divinely inspired to kind of give that to you guys. I think there's somebody out there that it's meant for, and it's going to help you see where you're at and how you can deal with the energies that are happening. But this is Easter weekend, and it is a resurrection. And I feel like the resurrection is being called for you to resurrect, for you to rise. I don't know. Resurrection is not necessarily a rebirth, because resurrection is dying and coming back. So in terms of like ego death, it would be the death of my ego followed by the resurrection of the ego. So I don't know, guys. I'm sorting this out with you. So yeah, I feel like the resurrection, though, is within each of us, and we each have a responsibility to resurrect the dead in us. And I also feel like that's a scary message to give, because I don't like, I'm like resurrecting dead. Like I see all this like zombie stuff coming up, but that's not what is being meant here. Because like, I'm like, if the ego dies, the ego needs to die. It doesn't need to come back up, does it? So I think, I don't know, it's a divine resurrection. And I don't feel like it's necessarily a renewal. Maybe it's a perspective that needs to change about how the ego operates after it's resurrected. Now that you've learned the lessons that you've learned, you'll be able to work with the ego in a more proper way. Not that it's any more evil or any more divine than it was before. It's the same ego, which is why I'm like, you don't want to bring up all this dead stuff. We don't want to bring up this dead stuff, do we? But I feel like there's a need for it. There's a need to bring up the dead within you. If anything, just to look at it and find its proper place for it to go. Sorting through the dead. Interesting message to come through for Easter. Which I think kind of leads into the second thing that I wanted to talk about today, which is paradoxes. I really wanted to talk to you guys about paradoxes because, first of all, the astrology looks like a paradox to me. A lot of paradox sorting out is needed. And second of all, I wanted to talk to you guys about paradoxes because I'm the Mystic Hillbillie. And, people tell me that that's a paradox and makes me happy because I feel like part of my mission on earth is to resolve the paradoxes. I feel like that's part of my mission on earth because I spent like the first 35 years of my life doing that unconsciously, is resolving the paradoxes. Because I've always been a very black or white thinker, and I will go black and then I'll go white. And because I went black and white, I then am able to see the gray more clearly and move into the resolving of the paradox. And I feel like the Christ force, is a resolving of paradoxes. A lot of people think that there's only one devil, it's the devil and then Jesus and God. But I feel like there's two divisions of the evil lower forces. And that in esoteric terms would be Lucifer and Ahriman. And both of these it's a paradox. And the resolving would be the Christ, the middle ground, the narrow road, the middle ground. There's a lot of people over here and there's a lot of people over here, but there's a few people that take that middle road, which to me is the resolving of paradoxes. So that's why I stand firm with the name Mystic Hillbillie, even though there's many people that tell me, first of all, hillbillies don't like mystics don't like hillbillies. You have no niche, you have no audience, which isn't far from the truth. But I also know that there are people out there that, as I put my stuff out, there is a message that they need to hear. And they are few and far in between. And that's okay. It doesn't make us any less important. But in a way, it makes us more important, because those that are trying to go after all the masses and as much as possible, they leave behind a lot. And it's sad. So anyway, so paradoxes. One of my favorite paradoxes that I ever came across that just would drive me crazy back in the day whenever I was a hardcore Christian is a Christian witch. I was like, you can't be a Christian witch. You're deceived. You're just deceived. There's no way. And I'm so grateful for the way that this lady handled me and my anger to help me to see how she can live and love Jesus and love Christ and have her witchy rituals, her witchy ways. So I think a lot of things, and we're living in a very polarized world now. And I feel like there's a lot of things where we need to, anytime you feel like it's us versus them, me versus them, it's very important to try to put yourself in them's shoes. Try to see why they see what they see. And it sucks because typically it is one-sided. They're not going to put themselves in your shoes. They're probably not going to try to see why you see what you see. And if they did, if everybody did that, we could find that middle ground. and live in more peace and harmony. But because people think that it's the other person preventing them, they prevent the other person from even being able to bring peace and harmony to the situation. And I don't know, we live in a paradoxical world. There's so many things that are seemingly dualistic, but when you look closer, it's far more nuanced. There's way more to it than that. You're leaving to make it black and white. You have to leave out a lot of shades of gray, a lot. To make it red or blue, you have to leave out a lot of purple. And everybody acts like that purple doesn't exist when it does. It does exist. And it's where peace and harmony reside. It's where you can find your rise. It's where you can find your way. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because, you know, the astrology that we've been going through in the astrology this week. Today is the final day of Aries season. Tomorrow is the beginning of Taurus season. And yeah, I do have my astrology notes, so I'll always have those. So yeah, let's look at what we've gone through. We have gone through an intense week, an intense time, and honestly, Mars trining Neptune yesterday, and then Mars squaring the sun starting today, like right after this live stream into tomorrow. And Mars is entering Leo after being in Cancer for a long time. And Mars went retrograde in Cancer. And I was talking about this last week about how Mars is like a fireball. And in Cancer, it's like a fireball in a lake. And it's getting snuffed out. And it's going it went in reverse in the lake and it went forward. So it spent this fireball spent a lot of time in the lake. And it's finally coming out of the lake into fiery Leo. So a lot of people, and I think that's part of why the download came through at the beginning of this with the resurrection ego. A lot of people have been rewriting their ego, either subconsciously, unaware, and in this way, they're rewriting it based off life happening to them. And they're going to move forward with a resurrected ego that it's it's a lot of the more of the same. Or those of us that have been aware, there's been a rewriting of the ego, and this is the resurrection. We ended this last week with divine revelations, divine understandings of how we can move forward. We're itching to go forward, but I don't want to say this like I've heard other people say it. There's a pause before the forward movement. But yeah. This week we had the moon waning through Virgo, Sag, and Capricorn. The moon's in Capricorn now. And a waning moon it's releasing energy. And plus, we've been going through the higher degrees of Aries. So we are feeling the moon has really, really affected that. And so I feel like it's been a tough week. For me personally, it's been a tough week. I've had to try not to look at distractions, try to stay focused. And I still got distracted with little quibbles, little details that just trigger you, and you feel like you have to go into it. And so I feel like this has been an intense week, and I feel like starting tomorrow and with this square of Mars and Mars moving into Leo, Mars trining Neptune, there's a lot of, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go. And it can be intense. People can be reacting in ways that they normally wouldn't react, with the new resurrected ego. And you may feel more divinely inspired to act and ready to act, ready to move forward. And then we have Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith is in Scorpio and is opposing the sun at step 2 Taurus on Monday, starting at around 4, and into step 3 Taurus on Tuesday. So Black Moon Lilith we're facing fears of the depths. We're facing fears of going deep, fears of being in the depths. So a lot of people are going to stay in the shallow areas. A lot of people are going to be too scared to go in the depths. There's no, I'm just going to stay up here and, small chat. And people are going to be afraid to go into the depths. And people are going to be afraid to be vulnerable. They're going to be afraid to share their emotions. They're going to be afraid of their emotions and afraid to share their emotions. And people are going to be afraid of it's not a fear of your beliefs. It's a fear of our beliefs not being understood, so not wanting to share your beliefs. A fear of believing wrong, a fear of having the wrong beliefs, which would be, I would invite you, if you feel like you have the wrong beliefs, take time to evaluate your beliefs and see how your heart feels about your beliefs. Like, that would be a great journaling activity for this next week, is journaling what you believe and why you believe it and how you feel about your beliefs, because a lot of the stuff that will be coming up at the same time, with the sun is going to be squaring Pluto in Aquarius. So yeah, I mean, we have Mars squaring the sun and Pluto squaring the sun and Pluto squaring Mars. No, Mars is opposing Pluto. We got Pluto opposing Mars with the sun squaring Pluto and Mars. This creates a half square or a triangle. So, yeah, this is paradox energy. This is paradox. The key to making it through this week, and Black Moon Lilith is in that square. Black Moon Lilith is finishing the square with opposing the sun. So we have a full square that is the sun, Black Moon Lilith, Pluto, and Mars. And they're squaring Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. The fixed signs. Needing to move, needing to adjust boundaries, fears of movement, fears of adjustment. Yeah, journaling your beliefs is a good activity for this week for sure, guys. And the moon will continue waning. It'll wane through Aquarius Monday and Tuesday while all this square energy is going on, waning into Pisces Wednesday and Thursday. So with the moon waning in Aquarius on Monday and Tuesday, we are going to be more detached emotionally. So there's going to be room for us to process, and I would suggest processing on your own. And then Wednesday and Thursday, you'll be more creative. So Monday and Tuesday is more about processing and really figuring out where you are. Wednesday and Thursday is more about being creative and figuring out where you can go from where you are. And Friday and Saturday, the moon will be waning in Aries. So releasing how we feel about a lot of the ego actions that we went through. So yeah, guys, I think that's the week in astrology. Well, it's the first week of Taurus. So honestly, I say enjoy yourself in Taurus. Taurus season's a time to enjoy yourself and a time to enjoy the comforts of your home and find time to be in your comforts, find time to do something that makes you feel comfortable and makes you feel good, to enjoy the pleasures of your life. But yeah, there's a lot of intense energies going on this week too, though, with these squares, paradoxes. There's a lot of paradoxes that I would say, if you feel like if it's this or that, try to look at how it could be this and that. Where can it be this and that? So yeah, and there's a lot of fear in this. There's a lot of fear, facing fear. I will always say face that fear. Face that fear head on. Go for it every single time. You guys, I am so scared of going live, but I face that fear. I go for it. Is it worth it? I don't know, but I'm doing it. And I don't care because I'm afraid, so I'm going to face it. And for me, fear isn't a thing, but somebody to ride with, Fear is that crazy passenger that thinks that we're in St. Louis, but we're actually in Memphis, So it keeps giving you wrong directions, but whatever. So I feel like fear is something to be faced and to be brought with you. And yeah, this is a week that we're going to be facing fears, and we're going to be reconciling paradoxes. And for everybody, it's going to be different paradoxes. And I don't know. I don't know. I was going to talk about Mystic Hillbillie being a paradox, but you guys already know that. So, yeah. And, we're all in the zero. All the numbers are starting with 0 this week. So it's about taking time and space for yourself, making that time and space for yourself, and being there for yourself. The battery almost went out. All right, guys, I guess that's the astrology and that's the downloads. Let's get into the cards and see what we have. I want to start with the runes this week and see what comes up. This is Easter weekend, so why not see what the runes have to say for Easter weekend, which is a paradox to me. It's another paradox. Paradoxes can be reconciled. They can be. It doesn't have to be this or that. It can be both. Let's see what energy is coming up for us this week. So Manas and Laguz, which I feel like it's move forward but in flow. So I feel like this isn't about stiff movement. It's about flowing movement. And it makes me think about the moon being in Aquarius and Pisces and then into Aries. So movement is happening, but it needs to be divine flow movement. And also, I just feel like there needs to be an understanding of how do I want to say this? Because it's not like, I don't know, because we're all one, but there needs to be an understanding of the parts of us that are more ignorant and are probably going to be moving not so much in the flow. The people, the NPCs that people say, they call them NPCs. They're not NPCs. They're just unaware parts of us that are going to be moving forward with haughty spirits this next week, probably. And it's going to be to their own detriment. So let them do it. Like let them do their thing. Because anything that you try to like show them otherwise, they're not going to listen. And anything where, yeah, you're not going to be able to teach them. What will teach them is letting them go to their own detriment. Let them go to their own fall. They have to fall. They have to see their fall, and they've got to fall before they'll learn anything. So just let people fall. But for you to be, be divinely inspired and allow flow. The stiff isn't going to work. The flow has to be there this week. And I feel like this is kind of like the divine feminine rising, the resurrection of Sophia. I really do feel like there's like something special about the resurrection of Sophia with this Easter. I'm not sure if I'm missing something in the astrology. Sunday, tomorrow, Easter, Venus conjunct North Node at step 25 Pisces. Is that it? Sextiling Uranus in Taurus. Yeah, Venus is direct and she will be conjunct the North Node at Grandmaster step 25 Pisces. Venus is exalted in Pisces. This is like a recrowning of Venus who just got crowned. And that's exactly what I was hearing. And I wasn't following this in the astrology, but weeks back, tuning in with the goddess, I was hearing Venus this round is going to be double crowned. She's going, because in the Venus path, she'll go retrograde every 19 months. And when she does, that's the recrowning of Venus, because she'll go forward, and then every time the moon will conjunct Venus, she gives up something and she falls back into the depths. And then she conjuncts the sun again, and then she'll come back. And it's the pattern of morning star, evening star. So she's morning star going back into the depths. Evening star is her rise. Every time the moon will conjunct the Venus as evening star, she gets something back, and then her rise, and she goes retrograde, and she gets crowned Queen of Heaven because she dove into the descent and rose back out. And it's my favorite. It's my favorite of all time rituals to follow. And Venus is now direct, and she would be crowned. She was crowned at step 24 Pisces, but I feel like she's getting doubly crowned, exalted. This is kind of like a celebration of Sophia, so celebration of the divine feminine. I feel it. I feel the divine feminine rising. Can you guys not feel it? I do. So I don't know. I feel like there's definitely something about Sophia rising with this. So let's see. I got the fairy cards here. Let's see if the fairy cards with Amy and Nancy Brown have a message for us surrender when fairies go bad. I guess this is kind of like what I was picking up on. I feel like there's a lot of impulsive, egoic energy that is going to be, people are going to be wanting to move forward with this, angst that, I don't know, I'm hearing like resurrected egos, NPCs with zombie egos moving them forward. I don't want to talk bad about people though. I mean, that's our own self. We are the NPCs. So how can we love, how can you love, how can we love the misfits? That's a paradox too. How do you love the misfits? How can we love the misfits? Surrender. That's what it says, surrender. Love and trust. Love and trust, make time and space. Like, yeah, like I was hearing that looking at the astrology this week, is that there's a need to make time and space. Protect yourself, self-protection. Protect yourself from the misfits while loving the misfits too. You can love them, but let them be over there and you have your own comfort space. Comfort space is going to be important this week. All right. Let's do the mystical shaman. I know I got those. I love learning about the shaman medicine wheel. And I've, in my cultural studies, got to study a lot of shamanic tribes and how they do things. It's pretty cool. So yeah. Soul retrieval. See, it's like a rebirth. We're rebirthing. We're retrieving parts of our soul to become more whole. I'm hearing call back your power. Call your power back. Call back your pieces, your soul pieces. Declare to the universe that you're ready to be made whole and open up to receive what is yours. And once again, this whole creating time and space, a need for creating time and space, a need for your safe space this week, and creating time to be in your safe space this week. A lot of love and comfort. I feel like the intensity of last week will bleed into this week, but it doesn't have to. And creating that time and space is going to be what helps to not let the bleed through. So when you take actions, make sure that you feel good about the actions you're taking in your heart, that your heart believes in the actions that you take, that your heart believes that you belong taking those actions before you take it. So really don't be too impulsive, but if you're afraid, don't let that hold you back. Don't let fear hold you back this week. Acknowledge it and move forward anyway. It's the only way that you can see how powerless fear really is. If you keep moving forward with fear there and you keep facing the fears, you begin to see how powerless fear really is. And it feels powerful. Don't get me wrong. Fear feels so powerful when you refuse to face it. But believe in your heart that you belong acting and then take action. So, really make sure that you are conscious and aware about the actions that you take this week. And if you can't, then be in that safe space. You need to be in that safe space. All right, guys, cool. Let's see what else we got. Kuan Yin, of course, Kuan Yin would come through for Easter weekend. She works with the Divine Goddess and the Divine Feminine in us all to help the Divine Feminine rise. Dance of the Butterfly Queen. So, oh my goodness, you guys. Like butterflies everywhere, right? Butterflies everywhere. This is our resurrection. This is our resurrection, and it's time for us to celebrate our resurrection. So, yeah, dance with the butterflies. To me, that's a beautiful Taurus activity. Find time to go outside and dance in the field with the butterflies. If you can, that would be wonderful. But yeah, the Butterfly Queen. I'm hearing to protect your thoughts and to sing a song of praise from within. I'm hearing songs in your thoughts will bring the answers. Songs in your thoughts will bring the answers. Protect your thoughts from invasiveness so the songs can play. And I feel like this is all being heard from within. Interesting. So dance with the songs in your heart. The angel of the Lord our God is guarding our peace during resurrection. That is beautiful. That is really cool. Yeah, our peace is in the middle ground, right? In the resolving of the paradox. Not always. Our peace is in the love of our heart. But yeah, that is so beautiful. That the Lord God will protect and guard our peace during our resurrection so we can feel more comfortable to rise knowing that our peace is guarded by God above, God within, and God above. So thank you for that. Yay. All right, let's see what the hidden realms have for us this week. All right. Diamond Dreamer, material wealth, true prosperity. So true prosperity is spiritual prosperity, right? True prosperity is having love and truth and righteousness in your soul. And I think righteousness is it's a tough one. But and I'm hearing be open to the wealth that is yours. Open up, and I'm hearing it, it's like it's tying in with this soul retrieval card. and how, I was like, you're bringing the parts of yourself to be made whole. Call the parts that belong to you in. So I'm hearing a line from a song, but I'm not fully hearing. I'm just seeing the line from the song, and it's I call back all the beautiful, wonderful things that belong to me. I call back all the wonderful, beautiful things that belong to me, because there are wonderful and beautiful things that belong to you, and it's time for them to come to you. I'm hearing your resurrection is about standing up into your true prosperity and being willing to accept the truth of your prosperity. And I'm hearing that it's okay to dream prosperous dreams. It's okay to dream about abundance. It's okay to wish for more. That's somebody's message out there. I don't know who it's for. But yeah, resurrect and believe in your prosperity. Believe in all the wonderful, glorious, wonderful things that life has in store for you. So cool. All right. Let's see what the dragons are saying. Let's get a message from the dragon realm. Oof. The dragons are saying that there's a lot stirring up in humanity right now. It looks like a cauldron of soup that's being stirred up and steam is rising. No, it's like steam is rising and the pot needs to be stirred, is what I'm hearing. The pot needs to be stirred. And yeah, it's right before the pot is gonna be stirred. So who's stirring the pot? Is the dragons stirring the humanity pot? I'm not getting an answer. Who's stirring the pot? It's a divine being. It's a divine being that stirs the pot. It's a divine being. It's a divine being. That's all I can say. All right, so okay, let's get a card. Let's see what comes through. Dominance, believing in yourself. So being strong in yourself, believing in yourself, taking care of yourself, protecting yourself. Yeah, self-protection. That's a big one that's coming through this week. You need to protect yourself, which is about taking the time and the space to keep yourself safe. Is it because of the stirring that's happening? I don't know everything, guys, but yeah, believe in yourself. Trust your abilities. You're going to have to trust your gut, because if your gut says get out of there, you're going to have to go. You're going to have to listen to yourself this week. Believe in yourself. And I do strongly, I feel even stronger about the recommendation of journaling your beliefs and analyzing your beliefs at the beginning of this week to move forward through to the end of this week. I also feel like, expect something to get stirred up in the collective level. But protect yourself and believe in your ability to take care of yourself, your ability to make the best out of dark situations, your ability to find your place no matter what the chaos is, your ability to love and trust yourself and have all the good things, all the good, wonderful things that are coming to you. Like the chaos that's happening with the collective does not have to affect you. You can take the time and the space that you need to be able to take care of yourself and to prosper amongst the chaos. It's about boundaries, guys. It's about boundaries. So, yeah. Extra insight from dead relatives and friends. Dragons. Yeah. The way that I feel about gaining insight from dead relatives and friends is the same way that I feel about gaining insight from relatives and friends. Yes, you can gain a lot of insight from dead relatives and friends, but they don't know any more than they would know alive. Well, they understand the spirit realm a little bit more, but they don't have a full understanding of it, guys. Just because you're in it doesn't mean, I mean, we're fully in the material realm, but we don't have a full understanding of it, and some of us don't have an understanding of it at all. So, I mean, yes, we can consult dead relatives and friends, and they're there for us, and they will give us advice just like our relatives and friends will, but they're not any more holy and they're not any less either. So that's just how I feel about it. I don't know. You guys can tell me how you guys feel about it too. So yeah, guys, I feel strongly this is a week, like it begins with the rise within us, a resurrection within those that are awakening. The crack in the egg is, it's getting bigger, and the light that's shining through is becoming more undeniable. So keep believing in yourself, believe in your view of your reality, and love and trust that no matter how chaotic life around you can get, no matter how chaotic the greater world can become, you can make the best of it. You can find your safe space, your comfort zone, and you can be in there. And also, don't be afraid to face any fears. To, let the fear know, I see you. I understand why you would be there, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to go there anyway. I'm doing it anyway, So, yeah. Yes, I do believe that our dead friends and relatives help us when we don't see all the time. They love us. The whole system is based off love, and if you love someone, you want to help them and you want to be there for them, and if you can, you will. No matter what it is, and it's a system based off love. So yes, our dead relatives and friends do help us even when we're unaware. And I think when we get to the other side with them, we're probably going to be like, oh, thank you for being there for me during that time. We'll be able to reminisce about that stuff. So I think that's really, really cool too. You guys, this is so much fun. I love interacting with you guys. And so yeah, it's going to be a doozy of a week. It's been a doozy of a week, but we are able to rise and we're able to find our safe spaces. And been a doozy of a week, but we are able to rise and we're able to find our safe spaces and our comfort places and take care of ourselves. And I thank you guys so, so much for joining me and for being here with me today for another live. Okay, next week I will be on vacation on Saturday. I do want to go live every single Saturday at noon, and we'll figure it out as we go. But next week I will be on vacation. There will be Wi-Fi there. I don't know how good it'll be. I do have my hotspot, but it's not that great at all. I will try to go live at noon on Saturday next week and show you guys the beach, but I probably won't be pulling any cards. I don't think I'm going to take my cards with me. And I always know the astrology, but I'll try to translate it the best that I can. But yeah, next week I will be on vacation, but I'm going to try to go live. I make no promises at all, because I don't want to say that I will and then life happens, the internet's not that great out there, it won't work, so I want to leave room for accidents. So if I'm not live next Saturday at noon, I will be live the next Saturday, which will be in May, right? May 3rd. So if I don't see you guys next Saturday, I will see you guys on May 3rd. And take care of yourself out there. Take care of yourself. Give yourself love and comfort. And just because the world seems to be falling apart doesn't mean you can't come together. All right, beloveds. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you, Mark, for participating with me and being here with me. It was such an honor to be here with you, and I'm so grateful. I hope you guys had fun. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that this becomes something pretty cool in the future. I don't know. I'm going to let it flow and go how it goes. So we'll see. Thank you all so much. I hope to see you guys next week. If not, I'll see you May 3rd. As always, be in love.